Hello and welcome to the Blaston video podcast. I really want to rename this podcast already. I hate this name. I'm getting tired of it. Should we rename it Blastcast? I think we should eventually, but I need proper bumper music, and we need to clean this production up. So when we get there, we'll get there. So for now, we'll stick with the old crummy name. We'll get there. This is the podcast video series, podcast, whatever, where you get to watch and critique my awful gameplay. We talk about Blaston news, theory, game theory, and other VR stuff sometimes. Just depends on whatever my stream of consciousness allows. And we do it all entirely unscripted because scripts are for simps. So, in today's episode, let's talk the Blaston Championship 2022. So, something exciting is happening in Blaston this season, and that is the Blaston Championship. So, for those of you not in the know, the Blaston Championship is Resolution's attempt to open up competitive league play, if you will. I suppose it's close to league play, to a wide demographic and address some of it. It almost seems like now look. Rez was obviously playing this for a long time. It's not like they watched my previous video and went like, oh, we got to do this because Robo said it. No. This takes way more planning than that. But I'm sure that they realized far in advance that there was a need to allow people to just pick up and play the game and have a chance using the time that they had to potentially win money. Now, here's how the Blaston Championship works. We have some of the footage here from, we have got Daddy Defer just explaining how the bracket works. So let me let him go ahead and just let him explain.
Blaston Championship consists of 3 phases: point gathering, last chance qualifiers, and the Blaston Championship finals. Phase 1 starts this August, where you'll be able to participate in the championships just by playing the game. Players who play the ranked mode between August and September and place in the top 100 on the seasonal leaderboard will receive championship points to earn their spot in the finals. But that's not all. Each week from Tuesday to Thursday, we'll be hosting an in-game Blaston challenge where you can gather even more championship points. Here you enter by using your blasts and battle others to rack up as many wins as you can before you get 5 losses. The player with the most victories wins the challenge. Each week we'll switch out the game mode in the Blast Zone challenge, starting with the seasonal mode Quick Draw, Arctic Blast, and then Street Brawl. So even if you don't have time to grind out those seasonal ranks, you can still join in on the action and earn championship points.
Alright, so as Defer explained, essentially how it works is you just play the game and you grind up these championship points, right? And when you have the people that have the most championship points are going to be the ones that go into the grand championship. If you don't make enough, then there's a last chance qualifier, and the last chance qualifiers will duke it out for a chance to get into the final championships. And you can get these championship points either by just placing high up in the ranks, or playing the seasonal modes. At this point, the question is, and it's on everyone's mind, because it's always on everyone's mind every tournament, who does everyone think is going to win? Obviously, there's 2 easy answers, right? There's two brain dead easy answers, and those answers are right. It's JJ and 24. Now, I think that's a bit too easy mode. We have the Blaston sandbox has expanded substantially since my Blaston prophecy, where I called out who would get first and second place, and we talked about that in the iceberg. It's expanded very significantly. So what I want to talk about today is, who do I think is going to make the cut? Who do I think is going to fit into the 8. Well, how many spots is it? Let's go back on that video. I think they had looks like for North America 8. Yeah. So 8 slots with 2 of them being last chance qualifiers. So it's tight. It is slim pickings. This is not top 10. This is 8. So, I mean, the path is walked by many, but few will be chosen. And in Europe, I mean, it's only 4, and one of them is going to be a last chance qualifier. So who do we think is going to fill those spots? That's what I want to talk about today. I want to prophesy who I believe will fill those spots. Now, some easy answers, right? We might as well fill up 2 of these spots with just JJ and 24 right off the bat. But one thing to consider here is, and this is a big consider, is the playtime comes into consideration here. Now, 24 is easily going to get this because, I mean, the dude's 14. He's got all the time in the world. He can easily get it. I would think that JJ has set aside time to do this. I know he's going abroad. Skill is not an issue for either of these 2 combatants. So that's not the problem. I wonder, does JJ have the time now? I think he's back in the States. I see that he is, he's like 8 on the leaderboard, so he's climbing again. So he'll probably make it in there easily. So that's not a problem. I mean, the Doi skill's not a problem. I mean, we're talking about the champ. We got to talk about champ and the future champ, right? So who else? Okay. So based on my assessment of who I've been playing, I think some good contenders. So right now on the leaderboard, Monty Bond is as the time of recording this, Monty Bond is currently leading the charge on LP. Now, does that mean he'll have enough championship points to make it in when all is said and done? Most likely, yes. Do I think he has the skill to take it all? Now, I think Monty Bond is a very strong bullet hell player, but he doesn't wear me out like some of the other names I'm going to get on this list. Have I ever beaten Monty Bond? No. But, man, like, there's some players who, after this recent update, have gotten buffed significantly. Significantly. We're going to talk about some big names today, because bullet hell is not the only way to greatness on the board anymore. And I think you're going to see 2 names on this list that we're not used to seeing in the traditional top 10 sense, that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think 2 of those names are Kronster and Captain Fabulous. And the reason why is because of the recent Viper balance changes. Viper has gotten a significant rework, very significant. And for those of you that have missed the past few episodes, Viper was both Viper E and Viper were given cooldown time reductions, so that makes their ability to deal out damage more consistent. While they had their collision reduced, that doesn't really seem to be a problem, because I mean, you can just sort of just dodge grenades, right? Like, it's not really a problem. So, especially the damage that can be doled out. I don't know if now, a lot of you watching may not have had a chance to duel Captain Fabulous, but if you ever get the chance to, and he goes all out, and he gets up to front of podium, and he has both those Vipers in his hand, he can deal a lot of damage very fast. I know the premier Viper players of old, like Woody and Apollyon. Those are the old legends. And I'm not trying to tarnish any legends' names, right? It's like when you go into a baseball stadium, or I'm sorry, a basketball stadium. This is how you know Robo doesn't play sports. You go into a basketball, whatever sports stadium. Who cares? Bunch of nerds. And they have the retired banners of whatever people, right? We haven't seen a lot from Woody lately. I'm sure he could still come back and wipe the floor with most people. I think he's getting back in the game I've been seeing him being more active in Discord. But practice right now with this new update is key. And Fab has it. And boy, does he have it. And so does Kronster, because they've been practicing the way of the Viper for a while now. And they were in the right place at the right time. And this update and is perfect timing for this tournament, because they're scary, both of them. And I think you're going to see the emergence of a secondary meta. Yeah, so Bullet Hell is still extremely viable. And any player, well, it's still the premier meta. Let's not mince words. If you are somebody that understands how to properly set up a combo with a hammer E, and then follow up with your whatever your follow-up of choice, probably Wildcat and Raptor E, it's still devastating, especially if you can get around whatever countermeasures your opponent is using. But the Viper, a good Viper, double Viper, can do so much damage if you're not prepared, especially because let's talk about the difference between Kron and Captain Fab. So Kron has a strong Viper arm. So Kron swings fast. Kron is not tall, but he swings fast and hard. He's also very spidery. He's like a little dodgery dude. The dude bounces and dips and dives around like a little, I don't know. He's hard to describe. He's a little goofy bouncy boy shrimp, right? So you've got Kron, who has a very strong Viper arm with really strong defense. Now, Fab doesn't have the same level of defense that Kron has, but I would argue that Fab has stronger offense. He's able to use his height. I know, I swear, if I get a comment about some butthurt guy, this is the reality. This is the reality, okay? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But look, dude, when you're 6'5" or whatever frost giant height Fab is, all right, he's able to swing that damn hammer E down, because he can. Or I'm sorry, the Viper E, bro. And you're a tiny little manlet, and you're watching him bring it down like Thor, bringing down Stormbreaker right on top of your head. Okay, don't at me. Okay. It's a thing. It's a thing. Anyways, so yeah, so he has that really wicked overhead Viper arm, and he's got good situational positioning awareness with his other Viper, which he also uses his straight Viper because he does use bounce. As gross as that is, I know. I know, everybody. I know. You can calm down now. He does use it in other ways. He will try to back bounce you, but he'll bounce it off the ground and everything. He doesn't get the nasty little ground bounces that Yelkel bounces, but he's a way better dual Viper player than Yelkel is by far. Sorry, Fab is the premier double Viper player at the moment that I've seen consistently. I don't see anybody else. So I think they're going to get in. Those two are showing that there's a place for strong competitive Viper use, and I mean viable. I'm not saying because this was the thing. This was the thing that you had to understand in the past. Usually when someone was using Viper, when they were using double Viper or something, they were usually winning because there was a vast skill gap between them and their opponent, and they were able to or a little one, and they were able to dominate their opponent or whatever. And if they were serious and they wanted to win, they usually had to supplement the Viper with a hammer or some form of bullet hell. And you would usually see this if you go back and watch games. Watch how JJ played, right? When he was using Viper, he usually used it in conjunction with hammer or something else of that nature, right? So now, though, I think there's a place, because with the cooldown reductions, there's a definite place for good, solid double Viper use that's not a gimmick. It doesn't feel gimmicky anymore. It can be serious. especially with the attachments too. You can spice it up which way you want. So I think here, I think we're gonna get Kron. I think we're gonna get Fab. I think we're gonna get 24. We're gonna get JJ. So that marks 4 of the spots. So who do I think the other 5 are gonna be? Well, right now, I think Matibon's gonna fit in there. I think Matibon's gonna fit in there on the basis of playtime, because he seems to have raw playtime on the same level of Fab and Kron and everyone. So he's definitely going to fit in there. So that sits up to 5, and then that leaves 3. So who's our? I mean, let's fill out our last general qualifier before we get to our last chance qualifiers. So I think, gosh, it is so tight nowadays. It is so tight. I mean, it used to be so easy to rank these things out, you know. I mean, back in the old days, it was just like, Woody, Golden Knight, and Weso, and yeah, there you go. Nowadays, I mean, there's so many players, so it's a whole different ball game on assessing who's going to get into these spots. So for the general qualifier, I think it's going to be a newcomer. This is going to be controversial opinion. I haven't. Okay, this is going to be a toss-up for me. So I noticed that Sloyd is climbing the leaderboards, and I want to believe that Sloyd has power scaled with everyone. The only way that Sloyd could possibly be in that rank that he's at right now, because he's like 2,900. Because LP is tight right now. It's very, you don't get there unless you're just literally, punking on, I don't know, Fatboy John all day, right? Like, usually 24 will come in to gatekeep the crap out of you. So, Sloyd has to be doing something right. I don't think he's getting there from he's doing something right. So his skill must have grown, because I haven't seen, because he took a little bit of a hiatus, I think, in playing, not in being active in the community, but just playing. I think he had something going on. So it's either going to be Sloyd. I want to see him play. I just haven't seen him play lately. I'd love to see him play for the general qualifier, just based on what I'm seeing on the standings. Or it might be a newcomer, and I think that newcomer is going to be Puan Shu. So Puan Shu's skill has grown exponentially. So when I first played him, he started out as sort of an equal of mine, even to the point where people at first accused me of him of being my Smurf, which was, whatever. He's another hacks guy who kind of used a similar loadout. And we would trade back and forth. After this update, he got some kind of, I don't know what happened. His movements are very strange, and they're hard to hit. Puan Shu must have been watching my videos, because now he has tightened up his corner defense. Usually the best way to beat Puan Shu was to corner him on upswings with a hammer E, and then also try to lay pressure on him with a wildcat, but he doesn't let you really do that anymore. And so he's tightened up that small weakness, and it's like the dude has no neck. I mean, the guy, if you watch his movements, his whole body will like dance around like it's disjointed. That he must be made of he must be the Gumby. It's wild. So yeah, his dodging skill is very supreme, and his counterattack that he's learned from his clamping has gotten very good. So I think Puan Shu is going to end up as our last qualifier. So I think we're going to get JJ, 24, Kron, Fab, and then we're going to get maybe, who did I say? I'm already forgetting. The Puan Shu, and then who was the last one? Who was that guy? I don't remember. Whoever you were. Somebody. See, this is the problem when I do things and I don't write them down. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. You're in there somewhere. I'll have typed it, and it'll be on screen, and you'll be like, Robo, it's the name. It's right there. Well, I don't remember you anymore. I'm too old. Okay. So now let's get into the Montibon. That's right. That's why I can't remember you. That was awful. I'm sorry, Montibon. It's because you're newish. You haven't been around since day one. I need to get to know you better. Okay, so now let's get into who I think the last chance qualifiers are going to be. So the last chance qualifiers, that's going to be probably a proper tournament, right? So these are going to be the ones who just, fiddle fart their way in at the last second. I think one of them's going to be Weso, because Weso never likes to play. So if he actually wants to try and he's not having girl problems with whatever girl that he's trying or trying not to simp after, he's going to be in the number 7 slot if he decides to take it seriously. So that leaves the number 8 slot. Oh, wait, Sloyd can't be in this. Hold on. I just screwed up. And neither can Fab, because they're Euros. They're disgusting Euros. So, hold on. Wait. Let's back up. So, let's pluck out Sloyd. So, let's take Sloyd and Fab. And we're going to move you down into stinky Euro land. There you go. So, you go there for a second, and then let's figure out how to fill your spots. Okay, so now that we put Fab and Sloyd in the pits of Europe hell, now we'll worry about them in a second. So now I got to fill the other 2 spots. Okay, so why not we take? Okay, so Woody is climbing. I see that he's on the leaderboard, so he's definitely playing. I mean, the dude he's basically the mascot for Blaston at this point. Oh goodness. I'm not trying to simp, but I mean, he is if he figures out the Vipers, he's gonna get in here. Once he does, I mean, the dude's got crazy Viper skills. I mean, he wrote the book. He wrote the book, and he may not be up to date right now on the book that the new DLC that got added to the book that he wrote, that Woody wrote himself on how to use the Viper. But once he figures it out, I mean, the dude, it will probably challenge Captain Fab's Viper skill and Kron's Viper skill. In fact, he will likely overcome them. I guarantee it. So let's throw Woody on the board. Why not? He'll end up there. And then who do I think is the last guy? I don't know. Do I want Bear Blast in there? Is Bobina Biggin? No, Bobina is going to be Bobina Biggin. Bobina Biggin's going to show up. How about that? So Bobina Biggin's going to show up and dominate the tournament and win. How about that? So there's all your North American players who I think are going to end up in the 8 spots. And then now for who I think is going to end up on the Euro side. So we've got Fab and Sloyd. So obviously Turbo. I mean, come on, Turbo's probably number 1 European player, maybe. Yeah. So Turbo can go in there if he is playing enough, and then that leaves one more for who I think the last chance qualifier will be for the Europors, and it will probably be. I mean, I don't know. Does Tim count as European? Are we counting him? Does he count? We're just gonna wrap up Australia and throw it in there. I mean, is Oceania is Australia? Are they not getting a region? What about Asia? What about them? SSA, are they just screwed? Rip you guys. I guess Tim is just gonna fall into the pits of Sheol. Gone. He's stuck on the sandy beach. Lightamite. Okay. Maybe I don't know. If they wrap up everyone else and just throw them into Europe, some weird conglomerate, then I don't know. Maybe they'll just put them in Europe. If they just put them in, okay. If this is a big big if. If they just say everyone else, then nice. I think I killed a mosquito. If they say everyone else, then Tim will probably end up in here. If not, I don't know. It's probably just going to be Tim. I don't know enough about European players, to be honest. I don't know enough about you people. But, yeah. That's what I think. It's pretty spicy out there, you know. And then I think what it's going to come down to is this will be the tournament that shows whether or not Bullet Hell is king. Mark my words. Mark my words on that. And what I mean by that is, I mean, Bullet Hell's obviously king, right? So no doy. I mean, don't distort my words. But is it as dominant as it used to be? Will it? Because typically, if you wanted to have any chance of winning anything, you had to stick to a pretty strict formula in the past. And that there was a very serious formula that everyone tended to use. But will people getting... I think we're going to see people get serious licks in with non-Bullet Hell loadouts. And that's going to be fun. And so I'm excited about that. So yeah. It's going to be a fun time for the Blaston Championship 2022. Indeed. So, yeah, that is all I got for today. We got a short episode for today. I'm trying to crank this out because it is my 2nd anniversary tomorrow. And I want to spend some time with my wife. So I'm just going to pump this out. Obviously, I've got all kinds of other things going on at home. I didn't get enough episodes out for you guys last week, so I apologize. I know, boo-hoo, you don't get to fall asleep to my voice while you're listening to dishes or whatever. I mean, I'm sure it was a great loss. But I do appreciate you guys listening to the Stream of Consciousness. Regardless, either way, as far as timeline, let's talk shop for a little bit, everyone. So I am working on a little bit of a format change. Eventually, we will be turning this into more... I mean, it's still going to be a video podcast with commentary. But I do want to actually change this into the Blastcast proper. And when it gets changed in the Blastcast, we're going to have segments. And we will have guests, so it's a bit more, I guess, radio-like. So that will be the eventual goal, and I will be working towards that with, well, as I get the chance, because my life is a complete mess. So, all right, thank you guys for listening today. I very much appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's pump up the Blaston algorithm. Let's get the hype for the Blaston Championship. Let's get people playing. Yeah, so I will catch you guys on the next one. This is Robo President on the Blaston podcast or something. Scripts are for Simps. Peace.